Right, so this is just a little addendum that I've added to the playlist of the Final Fantasy X playthrough. Now, when I started doing this playthrough quite a long time ago, from this point actually, I think end of 2015, maybe beginning of 2016, and I did touch on this point in, I think, the first video in the playlist. But basically, it's now 2019, and Final Fantasy X has just been announced, not only for the Switch, but also for the Xbox One. Now, one of the things that I touch on in the first video is about the random number generator. It basically works at the back end of the game, working through, so during the battles and things like that, how outcomes are determined. And basically this guide is on the PlayStation 3 version, which is the one I'm playing through. Now, the random number generator is exactly the same in the PlayStation 2 version, the PlayStation 3 version, and in the Vita version. It was changed somewhat for the PlayStation 4 version. Now, depending on which version of the random number generator, or RNG, that they use for the Switch and the Xbox One version, you may get a certain amount of mileage out of this guide, but if they use the PlayStation 4 version of the random number generator, then the guide may become less useful as time goes on. It basically works like this. For every action, there's a certain equation, for say, like, say a character strikes another character and there's a certain amount of hit points calculated. Now, that will be calculated on certain things such as damage, and evasion, and all sorts of things like that. All things come into it. And then there's this random element, the RNG, so that even two of the same attacks on two of the same characters, say, will come up with slightly different results each time thanks to the random number generator. Now, this was broken on the PlayStation 4 version, by which means that the same action would do exactly the same thing over and over again, even down to the loot you would get, say, after a battle, you know, because it's calculated at a percentage, with a random number thrown in to offset the percentage, which didn't work on the PlayStation 4 version. Basically, there was no randomization. Now, I think they have actually patched that out in the PlayStation 4 version, and even if they haven't done for the new versions, the Switch and the Xbox versions, which I assume will be working on the similar way to the PlayStation 4 version, as they're the sort of super HD versions, I suppose. You may get a lot of mileage at the beginning of this guide, and slightly less towards the end with regards to, you know, what bonuses you might see me get, or something like that. So I just wanted to touch on that, is that if you're playing the PlayStation 2 version, the PlayStation 3 version, or the Vita version, then this guide is basically going to be exactly the same as things that you'll experience during your game. If, however, you're playing the PlayStation 4 version of Final Fantasy X, or possibly the Switch or Xbox One versions, but I don't know. I don't know which version of the scripts they're using. I can only assume it is the PlayStation 4 one. If that random number generation problem hasn't been fixed, you might find that you're getting drastically different results towards the end of the game as to what I'm getting in my game. It's not because I'm cheating, it's not because I'm using a different game. You know, I haven't fiddled with it or anything like that. That is just a quirk of the way that the random number generator was redone for the newer versions. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say on this. So yeah, hopefully you do get something out of the guide if you're playing one of the newer versions of the game. There should still be quite a lot of useful stuff in there, because they haven't actually changed the in-game script or anything like that. All the enemies carry the same loot, and are affected by the same statuses and things. It just means that you might get slightly different percentage drops, or, you know, rare items might drop more frequently, less frequently, something like that. So yeah, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the guide. I'm going to put this right at the top of the playlist so that there's no confusion. And yeah, I'm going to hopefully carry on uploading some more of them. I haven't done any in quite a long time. I've taken a bit of a break, but I'm going to make the effort to start to try and do it, especially with the announcement of the new versions, because I think I could just, you know, yeah, lots of new people will be playing this game that perhaps haven't played it before, so, you know, maybe it's something more useful to them. Anyway, enjoy the rest of it, and I'll see you in another video.